I didn't find the post because I was looking for trouble. I found it because my niece sent me a message asking if I was feeling better after my surgery. I told her I was. She called. There was an odd hesitation in her voice. Have you been online today? I said no. Then she sent me a screenshot. For a moment, I thought there had been some mistake. The profile belonged to my daughter-in-law, Megan. The photo showed my son's living room. The caption read, "The house is finally ours again. Some guests don't know when to leave." A laughing emoji followed, then another, and another. The comments were worse. People I'd never met joked about difficult mothers-in-law. One person wrote, "Congratulations on surviving." Another wrote, "Freedom tastes sweet." Someone else asked if I had moved out permanently. Megan replied, "We can only hope." 30 comments, 30 little performances. Each one trying to be funnier than the last. I kept scrolling. What hurt wasn't Megan, not entirely. It was Daniel, my son. His name appeared beneath the post. He had reacted to it. He had seen every comment. He had said nothing. I sat quietly at my kitchen table for a long time. Then I took screenshots. Every comment, every reply, every timestamp, not because I intended to use them, because I wanted proof that I hadn't imagined what I'd seen. The previous month, I'd spent 3 weeks recovering in their guest room after a procedure. Daniel had insisted, Megan had agreed. At least I thought she had. I cooked when I felt strong enough, paid for groceries more than once, stayed mostly in my room. Apparently, that had still been too much. The next morning, Megan texted me, "Hope you're recovering well." I stared at the message, then I replied, "Thank you. I'm feeling stronger every day." That was all. No mention of the post, no accusation, no argument. People often mistake silence for ignorance. Sometimes silence is simply observation. Over the following days, nothing changed. Daniel called once. We discussed the weather, a leaking pipe in his backyard, the price of insurance. Neither of us mentioned what I had seen. I think he assumed I never would. 9 days passed. During those 9 days, I remembered something my husband used to say. You learn more about people when they think you have no power. My husband had been gone for nearly 11 years. Most people assumed his death had left me lonely. Some assumed it had left me dependent. Very few knew what it had actually left me responsible for. He had spent decades building a portfolio of rental properties, commercial investments, and trust holdings. After he died, I managed everything myself, quickly. Professionally, I never talked about it. Money has a way of changing conversations. I preferred relationships without it. Unfortunately, silence creates assumptions, and assumptions can become dangerous. 9 days after I saw the post, I attended a scheduled meeting with our attorneys and estate advisors. The meeting had been arranged months earlier. Nothing about it was connected to social media, at least not originally. Daniel and Megan attended because several future family arrangements were being reviewed, potential inheritance structures, trust provisions, property succession plans, routine things. When they arrived, Megan seemed cheerful, Daniel seemed distracted. Neither knew what I had seen. The advisor began reviewing documents. Then came a discussion regarding discretionary distributions. The attorney explained, in plain language, that future allocations remain subject to my judgment and approval. Not automatic, not guaranteed, my decision. I noticed Megan's expression change slightly at first, then more questions followed. How many properties were involved? Which assets belonged to the trust? What exactly was under management? The answers arrived calmly, professionally, no drama, no theatrics. Just facts, and with each fact, another assumption quietly died. The room felt different, not tense, just suddenly honest. Eventually, the attorney asked whether there were any concerns regarding trust, judgment, or beneficiary relationships that should be documented for future planning. I opened my folder. Removed several sheets of paper, screenshots. I placed them on the table. Nobody spoke. The attorney looked at them, then Daniel, then Megan. I remember Megan's face more than anything, not fear, recognition, the realization that I had known all along, the realization that I had chosen not to fight. Daniel finally broke the silence. "Mom," but there wasn't much to say. The evidence spoke for itself. I looked at my son. "What hurt wasn't the joke," I said quietly. "It was knowing you watched it happen." The room remained still. No one argued. No one denied anything. The advisor gathered the papers and made a note for the record, a simple professional acknowledgement regarding concerns about judgment and family conduct. Nothing was revoked. Nothing was taken away. No dramatic declarations were made. Life is rarely that theatrical, but something important changed. For years, certain expectations had existed, unspoken assumptions about the future, about access, about certainty. After that meeting, certainty disappeared. Trust had to be rebuilt rather than presumed. As we left, Megan approached me in the hallway. For the first time since I'd met her, she seemed unsure of herself. "I was frustrated," she said. "I didn't think." She stopped because there wasn't a sentence that could finish honestly. I nodded. "I know." That was all. Months later, the post was gone. The comments were gone. The apologies came slowly, some sincere, some incomplete. Daniel and I still speak. Megan and I remain polite, but there is a difference now, not because of money, because illusions are difficult to restore once they've been exposed. People imagine power is loud. In my experience, it rarely is. Sometimes it's a woman sitting alone at her kitchen table, taking screenshots and saying nothing. Sometimes it's 9 quiet days. Sometimes it's a meeting room where authority speaks in ordinary language, and everyone finally understands who they underestimated. I never celebrated. There was nothing to celebrate. A family had revealed itself. I had simply believed what it showed me.